Rising from the cold, unforgiving waters of San Francisco Bay lies a place where history and horror collide. Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary. For nearly 3 decades, it was America's most feared prison, a labyrinth of steel and stone designed to break the nation's most dangerous minds. But when the doors slammed shut for the last time in 1963, a new chapter began. A chapter written in whispers, cold spots, and things that go bump in the night. This is Alcatraz, a true crime legend, a paranormal enigma, and a testament to the darkness that thrives when humanity's worst are left to rot. Let's step inside, if you dare.
This is the story of that lonely rock, of its strength and mystery, of its successes and excesses. It is a story with an end, but without a conclusion.
Prisons have been called black flowers in the garden of civilization.
Alcatraz wasn't just a prison, it was a warning. Opened in 1934, it housed men who'd escaped, killed, or defied every other prison in America. Men like Al Scarface Capone, the Chicago mob boss who once ruled a criminal empire. But here, he was stripped of power, reduced to inmate number 85. Capone once bragged, "I'm the smartest guy in this place." But by 1938, syphilis had ravaged his mind. Guards reported him screaming at invisible enemies, convinced he was being murdered in his cell. Was it madness or something more? Violence was Alcatraz's currency. On December 16, 1937, inmate Ralph Rowe vanished during a foggy escape attempt. The FBI declared him drowned, but his body was never found. Then, in 1946, the Battle of Alcatraz erupted. Bernard Coy, a bank robber, smeared himself in axle grease to slip through barred doors. He and 5 others took guards hostage, sparking a 48-hour standoff. When the smoke cleared, 2 guards and 3 inmates were dead. Coy's body was riddled with bullets, but his accomplice, Sam Shockley, survived, only to be executed in the gas chamber. To this day, visitors claim to hear phantom gunshots echoing through the cell block. Alcatraz's most infamous mystery remains the 1962 escape of Frank Morris and the Anglin brothers. Using stolen spoons and a drill made from a vacuum cleaner, they spent months chiseling through concrete. On June 11th, they vanished, leaving behind lifelike dummy heads crafted from soap, toilet paper, and real human hair. The FBI concluded they drowned in the icy currents, but family members insist they received postcards from the men years later. In 2015, a photo emerged of a man resembling John Anglin in Brazil. The U.S. Marshals still consider the case open. When Alcatraz closed, the island fell silent, but soon, strange reports surfaced. Maintenance workers in the 1970s described hearing laughter in empty corridors. Tour guides found cell doors wide open, though they'd locked them hours earlier. One night, Ranger John Cantwell recounted, "I saw a figure in a gray uniform standing in cell block B. When I approached, it vanished. I checked the records. No guard on duty that night ever wore gray." Cell Block D, where men like Robert Stroud rotted in solitary, is a vortex of activity. Visitors report sudden temperature drops, disembodied screams, and the feeling of being strangled. In 2014, a tourist's camera captured a shadowy figure darting into cell 14D, a cell that once held a prisoner who allegedly murdered his cellmate. Alcatraz's haunted reputation isn't just tied to its prison years. In 1969, Native American activists occupied the island, citing a treaty that granted unused federal land to indigenous peoples.
Department of the Interior saying, "We invite the United States to acknowledge the justice of our claim. The choice now lies with the leaders of the American government to use violence upon us as before to remove us from our Great Spirit's land or to institute a real change in its dealing with the American Indian. We do not fear your threat to charge us with crimes on our land. We and all other oppressed people would welcome spectacle of proof before the world of your title by genocide. Nevertheless, we seek peace." Initially, government negotiators insisted that the protesters leave the island, but that changed soon. The government adopted a position of non-interference. This position was taken largely due to strong public support for the Native Americans and their demands.
I think we ought to sell it for $24 worth of beads.
For the Indians.
If they want it, they should have it.
Why do you feel that?
Because I'm for the Indians.
What do you think we ought to do with it?
Let them have it.
Why?
I like the Indians.
Well, it seems
Advocates from show business celebrities to the Hells Angels supported the takeover, and federal officials began to meet with the natives. Supplies had to be brought to the island, with the Coast Guard's blockades making this increasingly difficult. At the height of the takeover, there were around 400 people on Alcatraz. Arriving Thanksgiving, the strong support for the natives continued with people in restaurants donating food. The man who would soon become the voice of Alcatraz, John Trudell, started daily radio broadcasts from the island in December of 1969, naming it Radio Free Alcatraz. Also, in January of 1970, protesters began publishing a newsletter. Being pressed by the support for native protesters, the government didn't use force to remove them. In fact, in November, the government provided water for the island, and government officials, often sitting cross-legged on blankets inside the old mess hall, discussed the social needs of Native Americans. The band Creedence Clearwater Revival supported the takeover with a $15,000 donation that was used to buy a boat, named the Clearwater, for transport to the island. Support also came from the American Indian movement, the Black Panthers, Brown Berets, and the Asian and white community.
For 19 months, they lived in the crumbling buildings, performing ceremonies to reclaim the land. "We felt the spirits of the prisoners," Lanata said. "They were angry, trapped. But we also felt the presence of our ancestors, the Ohlone people who'd lived here long before the prison." Today, some indigenous visitors report hearing drums and chanting in the old cell blocks, a haunting reminder of Alcatraz's layered past. Is Alcatraz truly haunted, or is it a case of collective imagination? Dr. Jeffrey Kripal, a paranormal scholar, argues places like Alcatraz become mythic magnets. They draw our fears, our guilt, our unresolved trauma. In 2020, Zach Baggins' team recorded a voice in the hospital saying, "I'm not dead," and captured a shadow figure in the warden's house. Skeptics dismiss these as hoaxes, but for millions, Alcatraz remains a portal to the unknown. Alcatraz endures because it forces us to confront the darkness within humanity. It's a monument to punishment, a riddle of survival, and a canvas for our deepest fears. Is it haunted? Perhaps. But maybe the real ghosts are the questions it raises. What happens to souls trapped in despair? And why do we feel their echoes centuries later? Alcatraz, a prison, a graveyard, a mystery. What do you believe? Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then please like and subscribe for more deep dives into true crime stories, mysterious events, and more. Until next time, please stay safe out there, and as always, stay curious.